All right. Let's take a look at this. We got 1400 level. My biggest weakness is late game. So for the last month and this month, I just finished playing Bohemians and now it's Teutons for this month. How can I improve my late game efficiently? What civs would you recommend to force me to shore up my weaknesses? Okay. Well, let's take a look. I mean, yeah, any civ that has a strong late game, but maybe not really an early game eco bonus, it's gonna be good for playing late. Something like Byzantines, pretty good for that. But yeah. Anyways, let's see. Kawasan is definitely not really a map that I know how to play. Somebody redeemed for a Kawasan game yesterday though, as well. But yeah, the standard is gonna be trying to take the dock. So you go like 6 on food, and then you go to dock. Generally, you want to take a wood line in the back of your base because it's easier to defend. If your opponent just comes forward with men-at-arms towers, he just puts a tower here, and then you're kind of dead because your wood line's forward. But if your wood line's here, you can't really get a tower back there. So yeah, going for a back wood line, gonna be much better. And yeah, you can wall stuff out, but, well, Japanese is quite good at going for men-at-arms play, even on this map. Did you scout out the fish? Yeah, you scouted out the fish. Nice. Actually, the opponent's not even on a dock yet, so... Oh, wait, no, never mind. He's here. Okay, I actually can't see this color. All right, let's change it to blue. There we go. All right. Okay. You have enough for a fishing ship, but we got to get that in the queue. There we go. Okay, a little bit of vital TC from both players. But yeah, you can probably go for fires, but the problem is that Japanese fishing ship are stronger, so you have to really commit to water if you want to win it against Japanese. But you're up first, so good job. A little bit more idle TC. Opponent idled a bunch too. You both kind of just idled a bunch here, but anyways. It's fine. Double wood line, that's good. Actually, you don't even need any of these on food right now. Because if you think about it, on water maps where you're fighting for water, I mean, you should have maybe 3 fishing ships. And a little bit on food is fine. Pretty much all you need to afford food-wise on up is double bit axe. And then like 1 villager production and then constant food for vills. So you actually don't really need a lot of food on water maps. So you would rather have these vills already on gold, for example. Or, I mean, more on wood to get a second dock out earlier. But basically, as soon as you have 500 food in the bank for feudal age, then you can transfer your food vills to go do something else, basically wood or gold. And that's generally a good way to play hybrid maps. And then you would go, if you want military, you just make archers, which also doesn't really require food. So you kind of go minimal food units. You just want to be making ships and then maybe archers. Going to be really good in general. Okay. But what are we doing? We're going to make a barracks, okay, but it's late. Like, the barracks needed to be up earlier. If we're going to go for archery range, we want it to have it already up. Okay, and we're not using our tech advantage. We could be making a fire galley here. Would be probably better than doing nothing, but looks like you're going to go, oh, stable? Okay, well, that's going to be really probably not very good, but we'll see. You don't really have any food. And also, he has Japanese spearmen, so that's going to be very strong. You might be able to do damage if he just, like, potatoes and makes a mistake. But, well, I guess we'll find out. You have enough. Okay, we got to get that stable working right away. Like, we're actually just not using it. This mill placement doesn't make any sense. Should have been 1 tile away down here, so you can put a bunch of bills there. Yeah, we're just pretty late queuing the scouts here as well. So, just really late on everything, actually. Now we're trying to go for a second dock, but we should have just used our tech advantage earlier. If we're going to go for the second dock, we should be making it earlier. This is actually a perfect placement, though. You could put your fishing ships in here, and he would have to commit his guys all the way into here, and then you could demo him. So, honestly, you should have put your fishing ships in here. He would have had the micro to kill them. All right, scouts are in. Or a scout is in. Looks like you'll get 1 vill. That's pretty good. He's sort of stuck in there. That's really good. Denying the archery range. Sounds good. Okay. Double dock into no ships, though. All right. Forcing him to delete on the archery range is actually really good. Okay. And he let you in. Is he going to give you another bill? He's going to give you another bill. Wow. Okay, that's really good. All right. The scouts are working because the opponent's potatoing pretty hard. If you're on gold here, probably just get your own archery range, honestly. Okay. It's a bad strategy to open scouts here. Yeah, I would say it's a bad strategy here. Because, I mean, you're making farms, which I guess Teutons can do. I'm not really good at Kawasan, though, so I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like scouts is probably pretty bad here. Because he can easily counter you with just spears, or at least he should be able to push you away with spears. And also just the food income. You don't really have a lot of food, especially if we're not fighting for water. Opponents double dock with Japanese. So if you don't try and take them off of water, you will just lose the game. Japanese doesn't have any military bonuses for water. It's just their fishing ships are tankier. So you can just... If you were up earlier to feudal age, so you should have been able to have double dock on up instead of making the barracks late, then you just go double fire galley, and then he loses the water. And then you have all the fish income, and then it's going to be really strong. We're like walling the back of the base too. So walling back here doesn't really make sense either. We're just sort of in, like, we don't need to invest into walls back here. We would rather just, at this point, just make farms and then try and get to castle age probably. But yeah, archers is just way better, economy-wise. Wow, denying his range again. That's great. But still, he just makes some Japanese spears. You don't want to mess with those. If you had gone for a range to get archers going, you could have, like, a few archers with this right now. And that would actually do damage. Imagine you were at his base with, like, 3 archers right now, which is definitely reasonable. Then he would be dead, because you'd be taking him off of berries, even take him off of wood. Japanese should never have 1 lumber camp here. He should always have 2. But yeah. And you're all on the way up, so that's good. Okay. But yeah, contesting water is good. Where did our scouts go? Aha, they're hiding. I didn't even see them. They could come into play later. Okay, we're just gonna go full knight spam. All right. Siege monk push from the center, take the relics, and then you're siege monk pushing with knights. But guess what? He has... Wait. He just randomly idled his TC a bunch. So actually, I thought you were gonna be way behind in the eco, but actually... Opponent idled his TC like crazy, so you're ahead. Although, he also got wheelbarrow, which is horrible. Wheelbarrow is good once you have like 15 farms, not 5. So honestly, the opponent's kind of laming himself here. TC? We can't go cavalry upgrades into TCs here. Like, where's our cavalry? We need to spend the resources on the things that are helping us right now. So if we go for cavalry upgrades, we want to be making cavalry. We're making skirms now. Ay. Okay, it feels like you're kind of all over the place here. We're making 3 TCs, but we went for cavalry upgrades. Opponent's randomly making thumb ring. Okay, he's gonna go CA. Okay, makes sense as Japanese. Actually, CA just kills Teutons as well. But I feel like red wins at the CELO. Whoever goes cav wins. Well, we're not going cav though. We're just going cav upgrades into skirms though. Change of strategy. With the 3 TCs, I guess you can try and outboom. He's gonna have to add fish traps. Okay, 1 fire galley's not gonna beat 2 though. Okay, well, if we think about late game, let's see. Late game, probably as the Teutons. I'm not even sure if your infantry wins. I guess you have gunpowder though. Probably onagers and gunpowder is probably good, because Japanese will struggle against onagers. They don't have bombards. They have redemption monks, but still. Anyways, getting through the mid game. Yeah, I guess we're already committed to skirms, but we already made a bunch of cavalry upgrades and didn't do anything with them. We went double stable, no cavalry. So big waste of resources here, and now the opponent is going to be a bit ahead here. He's going to go for the siege push. You could have been siege pushing him. As you can see, regular skirms with no upgrades don't really do anything here. You need to have a pretty big investment. Wait, a castle here? Dude, he has... You know he has a bunch of CA. You'll never get that castle. This is probably a mistake, too. I mean, you're ahead economically in terms of the vill count. So if we stop throwing units and just build up units, could be okay. Getting ballistics now. All right. If the opponent throws this mangonel, that would be amazing. You delete this house and go out. Okay. But you're gonna actually no, you still have gold in the back. Honestly, you're still okay. Okay, good pick off. No problem. He's gonna lose some pikes here. That's good. Skirms are gonna allow you to hold on here. Oh, we gotta pay a little attention. Oh, but double kill on those pikes and then come in. Yeah, this one mangonel is whatever. All right, opponent's going imp, but you're so far ahead in the vill count. So you might be able to make something work here. Honestly, like from this position, if he's on CA, you could do a ram push against into the center. Oh, he's actually going imp here. Like rams with Teutonic Knights inside with the skirms. The problem is that once he gets up, you won't really have a counter to CA. And of course he's not like full on fish booming. He could have a crazy number of fishers right now. Like he has 1,300 wood. So opponent not fully effectively using his map control here, but yeah, your openings were just kind of felt like you didn't really know what you were doing. It's like you went up fast, but then you didn't do anything with it, and then you went up to Castle Age and then didn't make cavalry. Wow, okay, that might have got you back in the game. He's so worried about the castle drop that he just lost all of his CA. I actually can't even believe this. You're actually back in the game because he just threw his entire army. Oh my god. I think getting a castle in the west pond would be like over here. Not really. I think this castle's perfect since you were able to get it. The problem is that the opponent's up. If you ram pushed here, this would be great. The problem is that, well, samurai are gonna stop any kind of ram push. So yeah, Teutonic Knights trade evenly against samurai. If he had any other unit that wasn't samurai, the Teutonic Knight ram push would be so good. To kill fishes, no. Castle dropping fish is not really worth. You can kill the fish, just make units to kill the docks, it's fine. You can put a tower, like if you really just don't have military to spend, just put a tower here. That's all right. But castle is pretty big investment. Okay. Opponent's up, but your eco is so far ahead. Looks like you're gonna idle to go up. That's fine. Opponent has all the relics, but other than that, oh, this one's hiding behind his house. Opponent he kind of doesn't have anything, so you're gonna go imp, which is the correct play here. And opponent's gonna be up first. You kind of placed your castle on the low ground as well, unfortunately. Like, it could have been maybe here. Well, it's kind of sketchy with his TC. Maybe here. It should just be on the high ground. Actually, I'm not 100% sure that that counts as low ground. Okay. Probably love to see the knights just go around the sides. He's fully closed, but still. Okay. You have to think about what army you're going to go for. And you know he has Bracer because you can click on his castle. So you know he's probably going range units. Okay, that's... I don't know really why we're throwing our army here. I mean... At least you got those, okay. I mean, it worked out. He probably shouldn't have let you kill any of those. Okay, instant chemistry, and then you go bombards and hand cannons, and you can win. If you don't go chemistry and you just make knights into Japanese halbs, it's going to be a problem. Yeah, honestly, if you had chosen to go for gunpowder right here, I think you win this. But the fact that you're not going gunpowder probably means you're going to lose. There's enough golds on the sides and stuff, too. There's gold here. Yeah, knights is not going to cut it. Skirm and knights, not really going to cut it here. Cavalier, not really going to do anything. Especially without the final armor. Like, final armor is so key. Pushing this at this point doesn't really do anything for you. Like, you want to kill his trebs, but it's not really important. What you need to do is build up army in the back, get upgrades, and then go when you're ready. But if you keep bleeding units, the opponent's army is getting bigger, your army is just dying. Oh man, Japanese light cav. Those luckily die to skirms, except for not Teuton skirms, so unlucky there. But yeah, not having chemistry here is going to be very bad. Rams aren't really gonna work because you don't have army to support it. You're actually over boomed at this point. You're gonna be maxed, but on what army? Also, making a low ground castle when he has high ground trebs just doesn't make any sense. This castle, if you want a castle, you put it back here so that he has to advance down to the low ground. Then you can pick him off. If you put the castle here, he's just under his castle. This castle was never gonna do anything. So yeah, we're just basically spending all of our stone to repair this for no reason. This is probably where you lose the game. Even though you're maxed out, you don't have the final armor on your cavalry, so they die instantly. Final armor on the cavalry is sort of the most important thing. And now we're just fighting with kind of bad units. And yeah, opponent is just going to have the better map control and everything here. So just felt like you didn't really know what you were doing this game. You know how to boom. Pretty good APM too. It's just you made kind of weird decisions throughout the entire game. That's the main thing. So I think what you need to do is make sure that you're not buying random stuff and buy the stuff that helps you like immediately or makes sense to buy. So for example, in the end here, getting cavalry armor would be way better than going skirmisher armor because the cavalry is there to tank. If you're trying to run under castles and stuff, you want to have cavalry armor so that they can actually do the job. How to make better decisions, especially for late game. Yeah, thinking about the matchup, thinking about what you actually need for late game, and then setting up accordingly. So that can all come back to even Dark Age. It's like Teutons and Japanese. I think Teutons should actually be favored here. On a map where it's a little more closed. Like this map, you can actually stonewall your base into the corner, and it's pretty closed. Honestly, there's not a lot on the map. There's some neutral golds and stones, just like Arabia. It's basically Arabia resources. Actually, I think it's exactly the same as Arabia resources in terms of mines. So you can eventually stonewall the base, but yeah, pushing for the center. The center is always useful too because of course it has the hill. But yeah, playing towards gunpowder if you're a gunpowder civ is generally going to be very strong because basically as a bombard cannon civ, you can kill trebs with bombard cannons, which even if the opponent's up first, if you can get some bombard cannons out, snipe the trebs, then you kill the opponent's advantage. You sort of decided, yeah, like you were up early. You were up early to the feudal age, but then you made the barracks late, so the barracks wasn't even up for feudal. You need to have that barracks up on time if you're gonna go for something, so it needed to be up here if you were gonna hit any kind of timing. But by the time it's up, the opponent's already up, so you might as well have gone up one vil later, and it wouldn't have hurt your timing at all. But yeah, generally, you knew he was here, right? Oh, you didn't know he was here. Okay, well, checking, you should always know, you should always circle around the pawns to find his fish because, well, that's just this map. Your scout should have found this 100%. So I guess that explains why you didn't go for any fish here, or fires here, but should have had that scouted 100%. But yeah, as with any map, barracks needs to be up before you're up if you're actually going to do something. As I said earlier, the food income isn't so good on this map, so, well, I mean, it's okay, but you'd rather have wood and gold than you can go for ships and then also archers as a follow-up. It's going to be very good. And, of course, crossbowmen can also fight CA. So you can think, okay, well, Japanese might have CA. They're kind of good at going infantry. They're kind of good at going cav archers. So crossbowman, pretty good against both of those things. If I go crossbowman and then he goes into skirms, well, that's fine. Because now we force the Japanese to make a bunch of skirms, then we can go cavalry, and it's going to be very strong. You might not think Teuton crossbowmen are any good, but they're completely fine early Castle Age. And it forces the opponent to respond. So if you go crossbowman, he has to make a counter to crossbowman. He has to address that. So he could make his own crossbowman, but then you can add your own skirm at that point, or you can just add more crossbowmen. If he goes CA, well, the crossbowmen are going to be pretty good into that. If he does some kind of infantry play, crossbowmen are going to be fine. If he does cavalry also, like crossbowmen are somewhat fine against that. So it's just going to be a good thing to play towards. Archers is just a very good unit. So yeah, definitely could have been playing towards that. You actually got damage with the scouts done. Or you got damage done with the scouts this game, which was not what I was expecting. Oh, I didn't notice your mining camp's really not placed properly as well. Should be here. Because this is just not even really that close to the gold. Okay. Yeah, you kind of half committed. You had 2 docks and he had 1 dock and you're losing fish. So that's kind of a problem. We needed to be on gold way earlier, basically. Felt like, yeah, felt like you were confused here. That's for sure. Isn't it pretty bad to go Expo against Jap Cap archers? Not really. They have +2, but they still don't win if you have enough crossbowmen. Do you do the same thing with every game, essentially going through the unit selection for each ages, try to get the setup you want? Yeah, basically. You can try and end the game earlier, then you don't have to think as far, but if you have a better late game civ, then you can play more sort of greedy or defensive style and get to your later game composition. And yeah, I mean, what does Japanese do if you have hand cannons, onagers, and bombard cannons? It's gonna be sort of rough. If they go onager, your bombards kill those. If they go monks, you can snipe those with hand cannons. Like, he basically just has to play skirmisher. And, I mean, skirmishers will die to onagers and bombard cannons even. So, like, getting to that gunpowder first, and then, you know, if you need onagers, you make onagers. But playing skirmishers in the mid game can be good if you're behind to Castle Age and you just need something against CA. But I'm pretty sure that's not how it worked. You were to Castle Age at the same time. So even if he's going CA, if you just go double stable knights from here, it's fine. It's like you were set up for double stable. You invest bloodlines, you invest 1/1 upgrades, and it's like then you just don't make anything with them. 1/1 upgrades and bloodlines. How much resources is that? That's like 550 resources. Kind of just... That's kind of 2 TC's money. It's a lot of resources if we're not going to use them. But yeah, imagine we were just 2 stable knight spam right here. Yeah, he has a bunch of skirms, or he has a bunch of spears. So ideally we would have been on crossbowmen. Ideally we were, instead of going skirms earlier, which we didn't really make that many, we could have been on quite a few archers if we were making archers from way back here. Basically, like, as soon as you go to gold, you can make a range too. Because you know he's making spears. You force out spears with the scouts. Follow it up with a range. Go archers. Then you have scouts and archers here. Okay, that's great. And then by the time you get to Castle Age, you've built up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 archers. You upgrade those to crossbowmen. His spears are already shut down because of the archer play. Archers and scouts. And then suddenly you're putting tons of pressure on the front. Scouts and archers, or scouts and crossbowmen. Probably get in and do something. But it's like you didn't really have a plan. It's like you make a bunch of upgrades that don't do anything for you. It's like you're queuing archers here, and then you think to queue skirms. And then it's like, okay, I'm just going to make TCs now. Make a bunch of military upgrades. Like random TC here as well. This TC location doesn't make any sense. Oh, you just didn't scout this, that's why. But yeah, obviously here is way better. And, I mean, here is way better on the gold as well. It should have been here. But, anyways. Yeah, I mean... That's pretty much all I have to say here. From this point, he's going he's going pikes and CA. So skirms is actually all right. But it's just we didn't invest into any upgrades for skirms early. If we were playing archers in Feudal Age, then you'd already have fletching, which is good. But if you're going to play skirms from here, we don't have any upgrades. We're just going from nothing. So it's kind of rough. My mindset has been trying to go for more greedy or defensive play to get to that late game, which is maybe the wrong way about improving my late game. Well, you can play more defensive, but yeah, just thinking about what you do in the matchup is pretty important. I think just scouts into archers is just good to learn in Feudal Age anyways. If you want to play defensive, you want to have a good civ for skirms as well a lot of the time. Something like Byzantine's going to be very good. Teutons can play defensive, but I don't know. It's just Kawasan is a bit of a different map anyways. Arabia plays out a bit differently. So it's really hard to say. I just don't really play this map, so it's... But I do know enough that you probably should be fighting. This is more of an aggressive style map because you want to be fighting for the pawns. And, well, if you fight for the pawns, then maybe you can't really wall, and then maybe land aggression does something. It's not really a sit back and do nothing map. You can do that. But then you have to be working towards something for the late game and not, like, Night Skirm. And, yeah, we're kind of doing too many things here. All right. GG's.